Shelley Wade, host of the Goodness Factor podcast. As an antidote to the drumbeat of negative news we're inundated with on a daily basis, the Goodness Factor shines the spotlight on good news and good people doing good things. Each episode starts off with the Goodness Report, then we interview a do-gooder, and we end each episode by sharing a good word with you. Welcome to the Goodness Factor, where we report good news and shine the spotlight on good people doing good things. I'm your host, Shelley Wade. Coming up on the show today, daytime Emmy Award-winning talk show host, actress, comedian, and best-selling author, Sherri Shepherd stops by. She shares inspiration for parents and how her faith plays a big part in it all. She also discusses her children's book and reveals the kindest thing anyone's ever done for her. Let me give you a hint. It's a fellow celeb. She also shares the kindest thing she's done for someone else. Then I'll wrap up the show with an inspiring message with the good word. Right now, though, let's kick it all off with the Goodness Report, sharing good news the world over. In the Atlanta area, a Black-owned flight school has pledged $1 million to train 1,000 diverse pilots. Look Up Flight Academy and its owner, Michael Ojo, announced at the beginning of the year a $1 million scholarship program for those dreaming of becoming pilots to earn their licenses with the academy. The facts, according to the FAA, are that Black people account for only about 5% of all working pilots in the commercial airline industry, and women represent only 10% of all commercial pilots. So it seems to me that Look Up Flight Academy is advocating for some much needed diversity to fly our friendly skies. From Atlanta to New York City, celebs are doing good too. In fact, Black Enterprise is reporting that through their foundation, the Why Not You Foundation, Russell Wilson and his wife Sierra, inspired by his family's history in healthcare, aim to give children a safe and joyful space to heal, dream, and just be kids. So towards that goal, the Wilsons, through their foundation, have donated $3 million to Mount Sinai Kravis Children's Hospital, where Russell is no stranger since he makes weekly visits to patients at the hospital. Their generous donation will make a new therapeutic play and creative arts space possible. The donation will also make the Child Life Zone Theater possible, along with a special playroom for immunocompromised pediatric cancer patients. Kids, when they're able to experience joy and experience it in a safe space, I am here for it all. So kudos to Russell Wilson and Sierra for the goodness they're doing for our kiddos. And finally, from NYC to Reston, Virginia, where teenagers from the Glamour Gals of South Lakes High School paid a visit to the Brightview Assisted Living Facility to give senior citizens manicures. According to the Washington Post, there are hundreds of Glamour Gals chapters all over the country that consist of high school and college volunteers whose goals are to combat social isolation, foster empathy, and build communication skills. And they accomplish it all by doing makeup, nails, and crafts. And I'm sure that the South Lakes High School chapter's visit to the Brightview Assisted Living Facility not only benefited the senior citizens, but it also benefited the teens because when we're getting our nails and hair done, we are spilling all kinds of tea. So those teens, no doubt, got some good, juicy gossip and stories and life lessons from those senior citizens. And that's the Goodness Report. Time for the do-gooder interview. So inside the Goodness Factor, we always like to shine the spotlight on good news and the spotlight on good people doing good things. We are here with the do-gooder portion of the podcast, and Sherri Shepherd is our do-gooder this episode. And I wanted to talk to you about a book for children, your very first children's book.
Yes.
And it's called The Sunshine Queens.
Yes, it is.
Can you tell our viewers and our listeners what The Sunshine Queens is all about?
Absolutely. I feel today our children are not being protected, especially our young girls. Mm-hmm. And it starts at an early age, self-worth and the power of no. And I wrote this book. I took all of the stories that I have with my girlfriends and truncated them into stories for a 4 to 8 year old. Mm-hmm. And I wanted them to know that the power of friendships with your girlfriends is strong and yummy. You can do it by yourself, but it's so much better when you get with your girlfriends. And, you know, in this book, there's little obstacles that they have to face, but they can't do it without each other. And I wanted little girls to know the power of friendships, because I think, you know, we've heard so much stuff. Women get into situations where they're shamed. They don't want to say anything. They're scared, and they never reach out. And so they're on an island by themselves, and that doesn't have to be. So I wanted to write this book, The Sunshine Queens, based on all my friendships with my girls literally go 27, 30 years. I'm developing new friendships now. But the ride or die ones, you know, like Niecy Nash and I, it's going on 31 years.
Wow.
Kim Whitley, 29 years.
Nice.
Garcelle Bouvet, I think maybe 22 years.
Wow.
Letitia Campbell's about 22 years. So these are women that have been in my life. You know, and these are the ones that you know. My friend Vonda since 6th grade. You know, she works at a corporation.
You
so
guys go back like babies and pacifiers.
When I tell you 6th grade, like we go on vacations together, and these are the calls we make, and I go, I don't know what I would do the rest of my life. And I want little girls to know that.
Yeah. I feel sad. I hear women sometimes say, oh, I don't have female friends. I don't have women. Women are this and women that. I feel like having women, female friends, your sisters, it's the absolute best. Those relationships, you can lean on people, and they can be your confidants. It's the absolute best.
I don't like it when I hear women say, oh, I don't trust them because they this, they that. Then the one thing I would say is, then who are you? Show me the 4 people you hang around, I'll show you who you are. So if you feel women are treacherous, women don't it, then I have to say, well, what is it about you that is drawing those people to you?
Yeah.
Because I don't get that. I've never said women are treacherous. Now, I might have said Niecy Nash is bossy. Harder girl bossy. But never treacherous.
Yeah.
You know, and I think we need women in our corner. We understand each other. We know we have a shared experience. You and I, we've not met before, but we're both black women. The melanin is melanin. You looking beautiful. I'm looking beautiful. We just have shared experiences, and we can come together on that. You know, and so if you feel women are treacherous, they always doing this, maybe I would challenge you to rethink it, direct your paradigm, and look for good in people, and be that which you want from women.
Be the good, be the change you want.
Yeah. If you want really good female friends, then be a good friend.
And it's good when little girls can see grown women as friends.
Absolutely. And they can see women hugging each other and see women depending on each other. That's what I like. No, there's not one friend that I can't call and go, I'm down, that is not going to be there. The days I look up on my show and see them sitting in the audience, I cry. When, my very first day, pivotal moments when I got my star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Congratulations on that, by the way.
When I tell you, all my girls came out. Every single one was there. One had just gone through cancer, bald head and everything, but she was right there in that chair. She was the one who encouraged me to start stand-up comedy. Right there for me. So, female friendships are really powerful.
So, parents, get the Sunshine Queens for your little girls so they can learn these lessons about powerful female friendships. So I have a couple more questions for you, Sherri. I always like to ask guests inside the Goodness Factor, what's the kindest thing that anyone's ever done for you? Because I like to focus on kindness because we don't hear enough about it.
I have to give a shout out to Karen Johnson, otherwise known as Whoopi Goldberg.
Yes, Whoopi.
When I first started co-hosting The View, I had not ever lived in New York, so it got cold. I had tank tops and denim miniskirts. Flip-flops. She had to be on Bill O'Reilly in A Kinder, Gentler Time, and she took me with her, and I literally wore a denim miniskirt, flip-flops, white flip-flops, and a tank top. And she said, child, that's all you got? That's all I got. I didn't know about stylists or anything like that.
Yeah.
She said, okay, let's go. She took me to the store. She stood outside the dressing room. She said, she kept giving me clothes to try on. Trying on coats. I'm showing her all these clothes. And I'm looking at the price tag going, I can't afford any of these clothes. Like, I'm never going to be able to buy the coat, the. And she kept saying, okay, that one, put that one to the side, put that one to the side. And I'm like, put it to the side where? So she had the person take the clothes up to the register. Mm-hmm. And they're ringing it up, and I go, I got my credit card, but it's got a limit.
I can't afford this.
If I get it, I'm gonna just take it back. I'm gonna take it back. And when I went to hand the lady my credit card, going, please don't let it blow up and embarrass Whoopi, she said, Miss Goldberg paid for all of the clothes. And I went to Whoopi, and she hugged me, and I just burst into tears. Nobody had ever done that for me, and she said, pay it forward, pay it forward, Sherri. And that's when I found out Whoopi will take care of somebody's college tuition. They don't even know it's her. She does things for people. They have no idea that is Whoopi Goldberg. They just look up and it's done.
She does it out of the kindness of her heart. Not for publicity, but
never for publicity. And she will never know. Well, probably because I got so much snot on her coat. What that did for me in terms of paying it forward. And because of her, I pay it forward where people don't know that, oh, I needed a computer for college. There's a young man who he's in his last year of Fisk. And somebody called me and said, he lives in Compton and with his mom, and they live in a car. But he's so smart. And I was like, he don't need to know my name. He just needs plane fare to get there. He got the scholarship. Tell me what he needs, and it'll be an angel in there taking care of him. He needed. So he just opened up a box, and there was a computer. He's playing athletics, football and all of that. There's cleats. There's the things that he needs to help him move forward.
I love that.
In his life. And that's what Whoopi Goldberg taught me. Pay it forward.
Well, that leads me to my next question. I don't know if that's the answer, but what's the kindest thing you've ever done for anyone?
I think that those are the things that I like to do. With the platform that I have, I like to showcase people. Because a lot of times we don't have this platform to come in, talk about our stand-up like you are allowing me to do right now, to showcase that we can sing. And I've always said I wanted to be able to help my folks in the way that I could do it. Now, there are restrictions on a talk show. You have a radio show. It's all about ratings. There's some things that I can. And I'll say to a person, you got to go to a public access, public broadcast system before you come to my kind of platform. Because if you want to showcase your lip gloss, but if 100,000 people order it and you don't have it together, you're not ready to come to my kind of platform. Yeah. But I do it in ways where it's like I bring comics on the show that are not seen. I want somebody to say, I want to give you a sitcom. I want you to come on the road with me. And I love that I can do that for people. I love that I can bring Shirley Caesar on my show. And you have people, see her and they've never, they don't know a Shirley Caesar. I love that I can say on
introduce
my show.
Another generation to.
Yeah, I said Jane Kennedy needs a book deal. She needs a book deal. Somebody needs to give Jane Kennedy a book deal. She's like a phoenix rising from the ashes. And guess what? Jane Kennedy has a book that's about to come out. Got a book deal.
You put that spotlight on her.
And my platform is able to do that for folks.
I love it when people use their platform for good.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people use it for not so good things, but
Absolutely.
to use it for goodness. Yeah. I mean, that's you expressing the blessings that have, been given to you.
Because I know what was done for me, and I know what how hard it was to get on shows, and, how Ellen DeGeneres did it for me. I held the record for being the most booked guest on her talk show. Rosie O'Donnell did it for me when she told me how much to ask for when I co-hosted The View. So I do that for everybody. If you are getting on a talk show, I will call you and say, this is what I made. This is what I asked for. If you are on a new sitcom, I will tell you, these are the perks you can get. This is what you need to ask for. So I believe in paying it forward like that. Because again, women, they try to keep us in fear about what we're making. So we don't want to tell anybody. And then find out that the men are making more than you, that you could have held out for a little bit more. We don't share that information. And I like being able to do that. If I walk through it, I call Lonnie Love. Look, Lonnie, you started a show called The Real. Let me tell you what I got on The View. Hey, Sunny Halston, you starting the show? Hey, Jenny McCarthy didn't tell me what she was making. And I said to her, because they told her, don't tell anybody. And she got scared. And I said, had you told me, you had all the power. You had all the leverage. Because they needed to put somebody in that chair. Mm-hmm. But you didn't want to tell me, Jenny. And so you missed out on that. That was a big lesson for me. Now, if you're working at the grocery store, or the bank. You want to know how much I make? I'm not telling you. Okay,
So don't just walk up to
don't just
Sherri.
walking up to me going, "How much you make doing a talk show? How much is that is?" I'm not telling you. Now, if you get a talk show, I'm an open book.
Share that information with
If
you.
you're going through a TV thing and you book into a movie, I'm an open book.
And I know that you have a lot of great life lessons and wisdom that you can share with our listeners. Single mothers,
Yes.
raising children,
Yes.
and doing it all. Well, it looks like to us that you're doing it all and successful at it. Share your thoughts on that comment, by the
Okay.
way, and then also advice to other single moms who feel like they're going through it, but they can make it.
Well, I'm a deeply spiritual person, and so a lot of things are prayer. And when I feel overwhelmed, my prayer to the Lord is, I say, I give everything to you. I give my relationships, my career, my son to you. Give me back what you want me to have. So that's what I give that to him first. But with my son, because he's on the spectrum, and I know, single moms raising kids who are on the spectrum or have special needs, sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night in a panic because you want to know, if you're not here, who's going to take care of your son? Is somebody going to, or your daughter, is somebody going to understand your child? Are they going to love your child the way you love your child? And that will keep us up at night with a lot of worry, especially in this world, this administration. And someone gave me something really amazing one day. They said, the Lord, because you always got that friend who's like got a real deep connection to God.
Yes, yes.
And she said, Sherri, the Lord wanted me to ask you this. Who knows Jeffrey better, his mother or the one who created him? You've got to release Jeffrey and let him go and give him to the Lord. And that was the hardest thing for me to do, because I'm like, don't nobody know my baby the way I know my baby.
Yeah.
But when I did that, every day I said, I release my son to you. I'm telling you, it's a peace that came over me, because I know when I say, who's going to love my child the way I love my child? Jesus. So, not beating you over the head with my beliefs, but you have to have some kind of faith in something bigger than yourself.
That there's a higher power.
That there's a higher power. That the same higher power that gave you that child, that knew you could handle a child with special needs, that only you could rub their back and make them feel better. The one that created that child knows him even better than you.
I love it. I love it. And I thought about when you said, single mom raising a child on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Parents, households with two parents, they find that difficult, and doing it on your own.
Yeah, but I have to say, my son has taught me about being fearless, because I've had to advocate for my son. And I was a person who didn't even advocate for myself. And in learning how to advocate for my son, I learned how to advocate for myself. And it turns around, he watches me advocate for myself. So he does it. I have raised a boy. I didn't want to move to New York to do the talk show. I wanted to do it in L.A. And that same girlfriend said, God told me to tell you. I said, how you keep talking to God? I don't be hearing from him. But she said, God told me to tell you, New York is not for you. It is for Jeffrey, because there's where he will find his independence. And in L.A., I never let him go anywhere. I took him everywhere because I had a car. When I tell you, this boy's on the Uber, he takes the train to school. I let him go to Brooklyn by himself. Yes. And I have the thing where I can see his head. Yes. So I'll see it spinning. He'll be getting lost, and I just see him spinning. But then he'll right himself, and he'll go. But he travels. He goes, he sees a restaurant on TikTok. He goes, Mommy, I want to go and see what the restaurant is. And he'll call the Uber. He'll get in the Uber and go, and he'll walk. And I said, my son has gotten this independence. I never thought he would have it.
So this was, although you're doing fabulously on the Sherri talk show, this move to New York was for Jeffrey.
And even though I'm on a talk show and you go, oh, but you're a celebrity, oh, but you got a lot of help. We have the same fears as mothers, as parents, of who's going to are they going to see that innocence in our child? Especially us as Black women. We know our kids look grown, especially our boys. Jeffrey's only 20, but he looks like a little 13-year-old, or he acts like a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
And I always want to know, are they going to see the heart, his innocence?
Yeah.
And that's why I just trust in God. I've given him over to the one who created him.
So that's the message to the single moms out there.
Yeah, that's it.
Give it to God, give it to the higher power, and you can do it.
Absolutely. And I believe that God will put people in your life. Don't be afraid to ask for help as well. There are days when Jeffrey gets on my last. He'll go, "Mommy, are your nerves bad?" Yes, they are really bad. And I need you to get out my house. And I have to call my girlfriends and go, "I just need you to take over. Can you just take them for a few hours?" And I got girlfriends who come in and say, or I got good guy friends who are in Jeffrey's life who will come and get him and just give me relief. So please do not be afraid to ask for help.
They say it takes a village.
It takes a village.
And that's the Do Gooder interview. Thanks to Sherri Shepherd for blessing us with her presence here on the Goodness Factor podcast as we get into the good word. The Goodness Factor podcast recently posted this inspirational quote to our social media, which read, "When everything seems to be going wrong, take a moment to remind yourself of all the things that are going right." It's a reminder that even when outwardly things seem to be chaotic and out of your control, you can have control over yourself and your well being. Because when you remind yourself of your blessings, of all you do have, as opposed to what you don't have, it brings you right back to being grateful and even happy. It reduces your stress levels, and all of that improves your health mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Never allow anything or anyone to make you forget your blessings. And that's the good word as we wrap up episode 1 of season 4 of The Goodness Factor. Created, produced, and hosted by yours truly, Shelley Wade. New episodes every Tuesday, so be sure you're subscribed. The Goodness Factor with Shelley Wade on YouTube, and subscribe and listen to the audio version of the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on social media on Facebook at The Goodness Factor with Shelley Wade, on Instagram at The Goodness Factor. Plus, interact with us on social media by liking, commenting, sharing, and reposting our content. Love you for watching, and remember, kindness is difficult to give away because it keeps coming back. That's a quote that I always revisit on the podcast. It's a quote that my mom first introduced me to years ago, and I immediately fell in love with that quote and never forgot it. So I'll revisit it often and share it with you often. Kindness is difficult to give away because it keeps coming back. And that's the Goodness Factor podcast. Talk to you next episode. Love you. Mwah.